Hey, welcome to New Consultant Orientation and welcome to the Brave Unit. We are so happy to have you as part of our unit, and I hope that this training will help you and bless you and really get you off to a wonderful start. So we're just going to go ahead and dive in and jump into this. The first thing that I want to tell you is that your Mary Kay business should be fun. I want you to have a great time in your business. I want you to love it and enjoy it. And let me just tell you something. This is not complicated. Don't overcomplicate this business. The best part of Mary Kay is that it's about loving people. And when you start to overcomplicate things, that's when you're going to run into trouble. So just have fun and make this as easy as you possibly can. But my goal today is going to be to set you up for great success in your Mary Kay business. So let's get started. You should be looking at a page that kind of looks like this, Bootcamp, New Brave Unit Bootcamp. So we're just going to get started and we're going to go through it page by page. I'm going to go through everything with you. And hopefully this will help you to understand. And when you're done going through this, if you still have questions, just send me a text or a Vox, or an email, and I'll be more than happy to go through all of this with you. All right, so let's just go ahead and get started. Let's go over what we're going to cover. So first of all, we're going to cover knowing your why. Oh my goodness. So for everybody, your why may be super different. Like for me, when I first started Mary Kay, my why was to help pay for cheerleading for my kids and to get my product at half price. So I'm not sure what yours is, but you really need to know what you really need to know what it is. It's super, super important. And your why can change. So your why today may not be your why a year from now, and that is okay, but you always need to know why you're doing this business. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to go over, and then we're also going to go over the 4 stages of growth in Mary Kay. And then we're going to go over time management, vision and goal setting, which is so awesome, and then getting organized. You always want to be organized. Organization will be a key to your success. And if you're not that organized, it's okay. My desk can look either perfect one day and it might be messy a few minutes later, and it's okay. And then money and taxes. It's like sounds boring, but it's good. It's good for you. So we're going to go through all that stuff together. So number 1, you guys should have a page like this. And I really, if you want to pause this and take some time to fill it out while you're doing this, that's great, or you can do it after. But I really encourage you to do this, like really, 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 really do it. So knowing your why. Why did you start this business? And I really just think it's important for you to write that out. I don't know if you guys know this, but your brain actually reacts more. So if like you're typing and doing any of this stuff, I'm going to encourage you to get a pen and physically write it out. Your brain actually reacts to the way that you write stuff and how you're writing it down. And it will remember it, and it will form a crease in your brain when you write things out. And that's why it's super important to journal and do things like that, because your brain reacts. You'll have better memories and all those types of things when you physically write it out. So make sure you write that down. And then I want you to think about, what would you like to buy or do for your family with your first Mary Kay profits or 400 or more? So we're kind of talking about your first 4 parties, what your profits, what would you like to do for your family with that? Some people want to purchase something like a computer. Some people want to buy plane tickets. Some people want to, get some bedding or do something really, really nice. I've heard all sorts of different things, but write down what it is that you would like to do. Kind of set that goal for yourself. And then what you would like to accomplish. Where would you want to see yourself 5 years from now? Oh my gosh, 5 years from now when I started this business, I had no idea that we would be about to earn our first CALAC. We're going to earn our CALAC this month. Next year, we will be a national area. I had no idea. So just think, where would I like to be 5 years from now? Where would I like to see myself? Who will benefit from your goals and dreams? Oh my gosh, this was so awesome. Like yesterday, my husband walked in the office and he said, hey, when you become a national sales director, I think it would be cool. I think I might go out for the Senior Pro Tour. Like, that is crazy awesome. My husband's dream would be to make it on the Pro Senior Golf Tour. Like, how crazy awesome would that be? You never know whose dreams are attached to your dreams. Like, whose dreams are going to come true when your dreams come true. So that would be pretty awesome. And how do you think your family is going to feel? Like, one of the things that keeps me going is the thought of my family being on stage with me when I debut as a national sales director, and how they're going to feel standing in front of 10,000 people who are cheering for them. And when I'll be able to honor them and say something in front of 10,000 people to each one of them about their support and how it made me feel when I was on my way to becoming a national sales director, and to be able to honor each one of them in front of 10,000 people will be pretty awesome, and it will be recorded, and it will be there for them for the rest of their lives. So think about that. How will your family feel? All right, so let's go through the 4 stages of growth in Mary Kay. So this is pretty exciting. You should be on this page. And so the 4 stages are excitement, fear, overwhelmed, and recommitment. And this is just normal. Everybody goes through this. Sales directors go through this from time to time, but it's definitely normal for the new sales consultant. Of course, stage 1 is excited. You're going to earn a car, you're going to pay off all your debt, and people just come into Mary Kay and they're so excited. And guess what? About later on that night, or maybe the next day, or a week later, a month later, you're like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? I can't do this. I'm way too busy. And so we just start telling ourselves these lies because we get scared. And the stage 3 is being overwhelmed. I'm not sure where to start. There's so much to learn, and some of you might be feeling that right now. Let me just tell you, it's okay. Baby steps, everything little by little by little, you're going to get it done. Stage 4 is recommitment. I'm so glad I called my recruiter, my director. She reminded me of my goals, my dreams, and she gave me my next step. Now I'm back on track, and I'm so excited. You guys, best thing to do is reach up. Always call either your sales director or the person that recruited you, or somebody that's in a position that you want to be in. So just trust me with that. You really, really, really want to reach up whenever you're feeling overwhelmed or any of these feelings at all. You just really want to reach up, because we can help you and tell you what to do next. All right. So I love this. Things I wish I knew when I started Mary Kay. We're going to go through this. Care enough to prepare. What I mean by that is that you want to do everything that you can to be the best Mary Kay consultant that you possibly can be. So that means when you're going to have a party, you really want to, what we call, you want to do some pre-profiling. And in your Mary Kay starter kit, you got some of these. They're called profile cards. And what I always try to teach people to do is to call their guests ahead of time. And so you're going to call your hostess, of course, and your hostess is going to give you a guest list with the names and phone numbers of everybody that's attending the party. And what you want to do is you want to call each person, and first you just go ahead and write their name and number in here, write the date that the party is going to be, and then when you're on the phone with her, you can get her address if you want to, or that's something she can fill out at the party. But you want to go ahead and ask her all the questions that are on this side of the profile card, because that way you can be ready for her when she comes to her party. You can have her tray done, all of the products already going to be on the tray, so you're not doing that when people are getting there. You're not like scrambling around at the last minute. You want to be prepared. And also, what I like to teach everybody is to do a roll-up bag close, and this will help you have a roll-up bag, a customized roll-up bag made for each customer for them when you're doing your roll-up bag close. And so you want to do this in the worst way. And let me tell you the other great thing about pre-profiling people. When you pre-profile people, you call them and you talk to them, and they know who you are. You have so much more likelihood that people are going to show up when you've already talked to them and they've made a connection with you. When you let them know that they're going to have a great time at the party and you don't like to do anything that's not fun, they're going to want to come and they're going to want to show up. So care enough to prepare. Go ahead and call everybody ahead of time. Make sure you know who's coming. Make sure you know how many little goodie bags to have for each person. Let them know that you're going to have a little goodie bag full of some samples or whatever it is there, and maybe a little chocolate. And just make them feel great. So I just want to encourage you to care enough to prepare. And another thing that I mean about that, and we'll go over that in another training, but it's just to have all your bags packed and all that kind of stuff. But in boot camp number 3, I believe, we're going to go through all of that, exactly what comes in a party, what you're bringing to a party. So I'm not going to get too far into that, but you want to care enough to prepare. The next thing is talk to the many to find the few. Oh goodness, if you could just get your brain wrapped around this one. So talking to the many to find the few, that means that sometimes you've got to call several people before someone says yes. And that's okay. It actually is better, I believe, because then you get people that really care and that are really, really interested. But Mary Kay is mathematical. It's not magical. One out of every 10 people will say yes generally to having a party, or will answer their phone. Like, you should be able to get a hold of 1 out of every 10. And let me just tell you, people who do this over and over and over again will find that it's true, but then they also tend to start getting more people on the phone for some reason. Their bookings tend to be easier, and I think it's just because they're trying. They're really, really trying. And the other thing is doing career surveys. 1 out of every 4 to 5 people will say yes to the Mary Kay opportunity. So sometimes you just have to talk to the many to find the few, and that's something that we'll go over more in person together. All right, the fortune is in the follow-up. I absolutely love this. I think this has been one of the greatest keys to my success in a Mary Kay business. Whenever I have a party or whenever I do a facial with somebody, I always call them and thank them within the next day or so. I always try to do the 2 + 2 + 2. And so I always tell people when I meet with them, this is their first of 2 appointments, and that I'm going to call them 3 more times. I'm going to call them 2 days after our appointment to make sure that they're enjoying their skincare, and that maybe make sure they're not having any problems. Sometimes people will have a reaction and they're just so nice that they don't even want to let you know. They feel bad. They don't want you to lose money because they don't know that Mary Kay has a guarantee and that we're not going to lose money if they return or exchange their product. And we want our customers to be happy. We don't want them to have anything like that they're not using. The last thing that Mary Kay wants is for you to have a drawer full of product that you don't use because it didn't work for you. So you want to call back 2 days later. What I found with this is that sometimes people can't stop thinking about something that they used and that they didn't buy at your party or at your facial, and they will buy it when you call them to check up on them after 2 days. Same with 2 weeks. A lot of people have gotten paid in 2 weeks and they want to get the next item on their list. And then in 2 months, they should be needing some more product. So you want to follow up 2 days, 2 weeks, and 2 months after. And what I like to do is just put a little note in my date book. After my party, I kind of sit in my car with my profile cards and from my party and with my date book, and I'll write people's names 2 days later in that spot, and I make myself a note to call all those people. And I'll do that then I'll go 2 weeks later and I'll do the same thing, and 2 months later and I'll do the same thing. And so that way you never forget who to call 2 days, 2 weeks, and 2 months later. The fortune is in the follow-up. You will never, ever, ever be out of business or out of customers when you follow up with them. When you learn to control your emotions, you'll learn to control your paycheck. That is so true. So when you're not like, oh, nobody's booking with me, absolutes. I was telling people, there's no absolutes. Are you kidding me? So when somebody calls me, which is the best thing they can do, they're like, Alexandra, nobody's booking with me. I'm like, oh, really? How many people have you called? They've called maybe 5. Even if they've called 10, it's still not enough people. Just really learn how to control your emotions and know that this isn't personal. Or if you've called someone and they haven't called you back, oh my gosh, I'll never forget. There's been so many times that I've called people like a 3rd time and they're like, oh, I'm so glad you didn't give up on me. I had X, Y, and Z going on. And I was just so crazy and I really needed stuff, and thank you for not giving up on me. Or I wanted that facial so bad. Thank you for not forgetting about me. Thank you for being patient with me. So just control your emotions and don't take that kind of stuff personally. Observe obstacles and setbacks as part of your education. Holy smokes, you guys. I've had almost all of it happen. Like, I showed up at a lady's house. She was so excited about her party. Guess what? Her facial, I had talked to her, I had talked to her the day before. She wasn't there. I got porched, okay? We call being porched. I got porched by this lady. I call that growth. I also call that God protecting me. Like, obviously there was something that, shouldn't have been going on. And so I just view it that way. Like, all that stuff is a learning experience. So if you have a party and say you didn't sell anything, you really need to just take that and go over it. Like, okay, dissect that party. Had you pre-profiled? Did they know what was going on? Did you do color when you really shouldn't have done color? Did you do a close? Did you do a roll-up bag close? Did you do a set sheet close? Just go through and kind of dissect each part of it, and we can dissect that together too. Have a 1 year and a 3 year view of your business. Where do you want to be 1 year from now in your business, and where would you like to be 3 years from now in your business? Oh, this one's so important. Balcony people versus basement people. So a balcony person is somebody that lifts you up. And every time you see them, you feel really, really good. You always want to be that person. You want to be that person who's like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see you. Every time I see you, my heart just jumps. And you say something positive to that person. You just want to make them feel so good. So every time you see people, think of something genuinely loving to say. Have it be from your heart. A basement person, you guys know how I'm talking about. You're like, hey, how's it going? They're like, oh my gosh, my car broke down. I've been sick. I've have to have this surgery. My mom's dying. Like, I know that's terrible, to say that, but they just give you a list of all the horrible things that are happening in their life. And that's how they are every single time you see them. It's not like, we all have bad things happen and we need to share with people. And I'm not saying not to share, but when that's the only thing you do, if you go back through your Facebook posts and you're always that person who's how sometimes comedians or skits, when somebody's always unhappy, they're like, wah, 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 wah. If you hear that, that sound after you read something someone's post, or if you look back and all your posts are negative, that's basement, or if everything's a complaint, basement. Nobody wants to be around that. It drags you down. It brings you down. So you want to always be aware of being a basement person. You want to be a balcony person. You want to lift people up. You want to be that person who's an energy giver, not an energy zapper. And if you want to stay away from basement people, you want to make sure that you can still love them. You love them at a distance. And you just don't spend time with them, because you become the 5 people you spend the most time with. Don't go to a hardware store for a loaf of bread. All right, what do I mean by that? So if your parents aren't the most supportive parents in the world, and you know that they're probably just going to be really negative about your business, don't go to them for support. Go to somebody that's supportive of you and who believes in you. You can love those people, but if you know that they're not going to be like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome, and instead they're going to be like, oh, that's a scam and that's not going to work. Or I know, 10 people that tried that and they failed, and you know that that's not true. You don't go to those people for encouragement. You want to go to people who believe in you. And so I always tell people, because I had to do that, I've done that before myself. And my girlfriend's like, why are you going to a dried up well for water? I'm like, yeah, good question. So don't make that same mistake. All right. And then the last thing is know your numbers and your ratios. This is super important. Half of all confirmed appointments hold on their original date. So that's why we always tell people to, book 10 and you're going to have 5. And it's really, really true. And if you do anything at your house, always double book. That's the best thing you do. Double, triple book those appointments, because you'll be at your home already. And if somebody doesn't show up, you didn't leave, you didn't go anywhere, you're already home, you didn't schlep all your stuff somewhere, you're already there. So I love doing stuff at my house, because that way, if somebody doesn't show up, I'm already home. I haven't wasted any gas, I haven't gone anywhere, any of those things. I kind of went over this with you guys already. Call 10 people, get 7 voicemails, 3 answers, 2 no's, 1 yes. That's about the breakdown. Average group appointment sale is 200 to 300 in retail. That's really the truth. Once you get in it and you start doing better and you start doing a roll-up bag close, your appointments will be greater. They really will. You'll start making more money. It all goes with your close and how you're willing to do it. The other thing I would try to teach you is the half and the half and the half. So say you invite 14 people or 20 people. So you invite 20 people, 10 people will generally say yes, and then 5 people will show up. So half of whoever you invite generally says yes, and then half of those who say yes will actually show up. So you always want to have larger numbers to invite, but you really, a lot of that also depends on your follow-up and how closely you are working with people. So just keep those numbers in mind, because it's important that you guys don't take that kind of stuff personally. So let's talk about time management. This is a weekly plan sheet. You guys should see this. It's really important for those of you that are still working full-time. Mary Kay is not your full-time job. You want to always take something like this, and you want to use different colors, and you want to highlight like where you're working, what hours you're working that are your job times, like your JOB, and then you want to put in your family time, so church, any of your children's activities if you have children, your date night, all that kind of stuff. And then put in how many hours are you going to be working your Mary Kay business, and when are you going to be holding those appointments, and then put that in another color. And so this will just help you every week to make something like that. You can actually just print off this page only if you want to do that on a weekly basis. I highly recommend doing this. It is huge. It will help you in your business like you have no idea. But I really just think that doing this is crucial to a successful business. The next page is just like kind of an example of our SNSD Julia Burnett's schedule when she was working full-time and working Mary Kay. So you can go through that. Now let's talk about income producing activities. There are non-income producing activities, and then there are income producing activities, and we really want you to focus on income producing activities. And this is a great sheet to have that you can print off for a daily basis and really just kind of go through it. We're looking at this page right here. So just check these off whenever you've done them, you know, and it's very self-explanatory. A group appointment is 3 faces or more and 200 in retail sales. 2 faces, you should sell about 150 reorders, 1 per every 100, 1 career survey or interview, follow-up with a CD, 1 guest at meeting, 8 new contacts, so you get those from your parties or when you're out warm chattering, 1 new booking appointment, 1 new team member, 1 travel roll-up bag sold, 2 new basic sets sold. That's like the time-wise. A business debut that you have either done or that you've helped set up for one of your new consultants, or attending a training event. We have those from time to time, as well as, you know, going to our girls' night out. And so then you can see how many of these you did for the week. So this would be for 1 week, and you can just kind of keep track of these things. I would have a notebook that I kept this in, and then you can just kind of go over and see, how am I doing? How am I doing with this? How many income producing activities am I really doing every single week? Now let's talk about, I'm going to take a drink. Let's talk about promotions and contests. All right, sweet. When you work to win, winning works. Oh my gosh, I love winning stuff, so I'm a little bit competitive. I really like that. And the more fun you have, the more money you make. Very, very true. Linda Tupin says, when you follow the prize trail, you follow the money trail. That's really, really true. Always work to achieve your unit and company contests. Even if you're not prize motivated, it even gives you a reason to ask people to help you. Cause-related shopping. People will do that all the time. I remember when I started my business, I'm like, I've been challenged to do 30 faces this month. Will you pretty please be one of my faces? My sales directors challenged me, and then if there was a prize attached, I would let them know what it was. So here we go. You guys can earn lots of prizes from me. These are already printed out, you know, for you in here. You can print these out. You want to make sure you turn these into me. You can mail them to me, you can bring them to Girls Night Out, whatever you want. When they're done, my assistant will make sure that you get them. So there's lots of prizes. You guys can go over this to yourself. Your Power Start, 30 faces in 30 days. Earn this gorgeous ring. That should be 5 appointments at 6 people each. That's the easiest way to do it. You can bring 5 people to Girls Night Out. You can do all these different things. 5 career surveys to select women who you think love to have, that you would like to have on your team. And you select the 30-day window. You let me know when you're beginning, okay? you have any more questions about this, let me know. Here's a tracking sheet. I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for you guys. So here's your tracking sheet, 30 faces, your interviews. All right, after your first Power Start, you're going to begin the Gen X program. I would love for you to start this immediately. People who track Gen X are always going to have prizes. They're going to win cars, and they're always a star consultant, because you can't help but be a star when you're doing 15 to 45 faces a month, and you're earning lots of money, and you're doing those career surveys. You will earn cars, and you'll always be a star. So the Gen X minimum is 15 faces a month, 5 guests to meeting or career surveys, $650 wholesale, and you have turned in your Gen X tracking sheet to me each week. Elite, 30 faces a month, 10 guests or career surveys, $1,000 wholesale order, and your sheet turned into me each week. Accountability, your rewards are accountability. A track number grows. You can't help it. You'll build a team and you'll earn a car. Keep the focus simple. Recognition in our newsletter that we send out every month, and online on our unit Facebook website page. Monthly inspiration educational conference call with our national sales director, or she actually does it. Yeah, she does it monthly. And you'll get to earn Gen X girlfriend events. And our next one is going to be off the hook. So that's pretty amazing. So this is a Gen X sheet. It is super simple. It's kind of like the other sheet that I just showed you, like the Power Start sheet. So you just fill in who you facialed and how much money you made. So you just do that every week. And then this is super easy. This is where you fill in your new sales for the week, reorders, and then the total. So every week you do that. You just keep filling in this sheet. And then this is where you write down your career surveys for each week. Yes, no, maybe answers, okay? And this is where you keep track of your new appointments. And then this is where you keep track of how many faces you've done for the month, how many skincare classes you've held, what your retail sales are month to date, your wholesale month to date, and what your team has done, because some of you might be building a team, and then your quarterly wholesale to date. That's like when you've been doing this for months. And then what is your goal down here? Do you want what color star or which level star do you want to be? And then team building month to date. How many people have you added to your team? So it's really kind of exciting. How many career surveys or guests have you brought? And then how many people have you added to your team? You guys, this is your key to success right here. Gen X is your key to success. I want this even if it has zeros on it. I do. I want to see this from you every week. Just get into the habit of sending this to me. You have no idea. Like these healthy habits, it takes 30 days to create a new habit. I know you can do this. This is your key to success. I can't stress this anymore. Gen X, key to success. All right. Since we're talking about success, let's go over the price tag for success. The group facial or party, the average group facial is $300, $200 at the party, and $100 in outside orders. All right, and that's usually giving them, with your hostess, taking up about 5 orders. And then run your race. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Whew, that is like super, super, super expensive, like essential. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. All right, year-long goals. How many hours you choose to develop your business? How many hours do you want to put into developing your business and holding parties? This will determine your year-long goal and ultimately your income. And so we're also going to go over tracking like we just did. I want you to repeat after me. A track number grows, okay? I'm a master tracker. And then your quarterly goals. Quarterly goals is just a breakdown of your year-long goals. So like this quarter, I want to be a sapphire star. I want to have done this many faces. I want to go on target for my car. All those kinds of things. Like you want to figure that out. So here's some tracking for reaching your star consultant. 5 hours a week would be like 1 group facial a week and about 5 people there. 12 group facials is going to get you 60 faces a quarter. And so that 12 group facials times $300 is $3,600 in retail sales. And that gets you to an $1,800 star level which is the Sapphire Star, which is amazing. Now, if you add team members and they become stars as well, it bumps you up to another level. So this doesn't include, you guys, this doesn't even include your reorders or what I just talked about, your building bonuses. So you just want to keep track of this. You want to track your parties and your group facials, and once you get to 60, you should hit star. Okay, so track this stuff, print these out, keep these in your binder that I was talking to you about. All right, quarterly goal. This is going to be you're tracking your parties. So 15 hours would be 10 parties per month, 30 parties or 120 faces per quarter. And so that's going to get you $4,800 wholesale. So these are just like, this is the same as the other one, but it's just working at a higher level. All right. Now, take a deep breath. What stage are you at? Excited, fearful, overwhelmed? Okay. It's all okay. I promise. You're going to be doing good. All right. Now, let's talk about your Mary Kay date book and your brain book. Use only one for everything. Now, for me, I have my date book and I fill it up with my personal and my professional schedule. But, okay, there it is, personal and professional. But I also do work with the design book. This is Pam Shaw's design book. You can go to our website and get this, PamelaShaw.com. I think these are really important to work with too, because it helps you nail out your goals. So I kind of work with those two things together daily, and that might seem a little crazy to people, but it's a great key to my success. We kind of went over this before on your weekly plan sheet. You want to highlight the times you choose to hold appointments from your weekly plan sheet, and you can do all that kind of stuff. All right. So your brain book, you can use this, what I was talking about, Pam Shaw's design book, or you can do this with purchasing 3 spiral notebooks. But so this kind of tells you what to do in all of these. And if I went through each one of these things, I'll be talking to you for 5 hours. So no, I'm kidding. But it's pretty easy. The things that I think are that is super, super important is that you do divide your list into A, B's, and C's. A's, you'll feel certainly people are going to say yes. B's probably yes, and C you're not sure. So just go through this and really work from this. All right, here's stuff that we're going to really kind of talk about. The notes section in the back. You need to dump your brain into a master task list for your personal life. Your business one is separate. Books to read, CDs to listen to is also separate. So a master task personal list would, look more something like, I need to clean the basement, organize my closet, power wash and stain the deck, clean up, brush in the woods, and take clothes to the Goodwill. A master task list for your business looks something like, buy my inventory cases to take my stuff to parties so I look professional, file handouts, hire a housekeeper, hire an assistant, enter names into Mary Kay in Touch. Books to read, Mary Kay's autobiography, The Dream Giver, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and No Excuse. These are great books, okay? So these are kind of what those things look like, all right? 6 most important things to-do list. Every day you should do that. Like in the design book, there's a space to do that, okay? So this is one of mine, and you can see, I've got all those things crossed out, and it just kind of helps you one thing after another. And so if I did this in my date book would look insane. So that's why I like working out of 2 things. So our job description is to book, sell, and coach and recruit, okay? So that's like the most important things that you want to focus on every day. You want to make booking calls. You want to coach your hostesses. You want to coach your guests that are coming to your parties. Every day you should be doing those 2 things. Selling, you want to sell the product. That means you're making those follow-up calls that I talked to you guys earlier about. You're following up with your customers. And then recruiting. You're setting up career surveys to do with your sales director. All right. The most of the things that go on your 6 most important list should be in those categories, not in that personal task category. If you know you need to coach a week before a party, flip ahead and write it in the appropriate date. So this just kind of gives you a little list, an example of what 6 most important things would be. And the difference between an amateur and a professional is that a professional will write out their to-do list before they go to bed at night instead of in the morning. You want to clear your head out. And when you write actually down those 6 most important things to do when you go to bed, you'll actually think about them and you will be more ready to get up and attack them in the morning. It's scientifically proven. So that's why we try to get you to do that before you go to bed. All right, let's get organized. How to set up your Mary Kay office. Woo! So this is like something that always surprises me that people really care about a lot. What you want to do with your papers, how do you keep track of your customers and their purchases, what do you do with business receipts, how to manage your money, what to do with new contacts, all that kind of stuff. You want to take one whole day and get completely set up on the front end, okay? And then here's a shopping list for you guys. So this kind of goes through and tells you exactly what to do, okay? These 2 lists. So just go down through these things one by one. But what I want to show you, like when it talks about a photo box on there, here's one of mine. Okay, this is where my customers are in, and it's a little disheveled because we just did taxes. But like profile cards are behind the letter, okay? And then my sales slips go in there throughout the year. Behind the person's profile card goes their sales ticket. And at the end of the year, my assistant just goes through and adds them all up and all that kind of stuff. But, and if they ever need anything and it's, God forbid, not on InTouch, we can just go to their name. We know what they've ordered. We don't ever have to, like they can't remember, we've got it because it's always right there behind their name, all right? You want to really, really make sure that that kind of stuff is done. Now, all this stuff can be entered on InTouch as well. I think that that's the smartest thing to do. Most of you all are pretty tech savvy because, this is 2014 and a lot of you are really young. But this tells you exactly how to do it. I recommend that you hire somebody to do it for you. Get a teenager that wants to work for some product that's sharp. Maybe somebody from a youth group at church that is really, really sharp. They'll do this for you for free. For some free product, it's going to cost you very little. All right. Just follow the directions on here. Super, super, super simple. You want to make sure, we kind of went over this at your orientation. If you did an orientation with me, you should have your two checking accounts. One is for product and one is for profit, all right? And you want to have all your money management done in here. And if you haven't, this explains it real easily. Now, for my receipts and things like that, I just use Excel. I do. And then there's also, there's QT Office. That one's really good. But if you want to program, there's a lot of them that are great for Mary Kay. Now, let's see. This is just a really good worksheet. If you like worksheets, go ahead and go over this. Basic money management. 50% of the money coming in is from your sales, must be set aside for replenishing your inventory. You guys, don't not do that. That's called embezzlement. Like if you don't take that 50% and put it aside immediately, you're embezzling from yourself. So you don't want to do that. Take 50% of your money and put it into that other account so you can replenish your product right away. The other 50% is your income. 10% of your income should be set aside for supplies, like you're going to want to order samples and goodie bags and those kinds of things for your customers. The PCP gifts, like whatever our gift is for the quarter, like right now, it's an eye makeup remover and a mascara, and it comes in a really cute little bag. So you want to set aside PCP gifts and lookbooks and samples. A percentage should be set aside to pay back your initial investment if you did that, and paying yourself back. And then find a system that works for you to keep track of all of it. All right, so we're going to go over a basic example of the money management. You had a $1,000 week. $500 goes back to replenish your inventory. $500 income, hands off. You're not ready to go shopping yet. $50 for supplies. 50 to 100 for paying off your investment. And $400 profit is yours. Go do whatever you want with it. Definition of the word profit: money left over after business expenses have been paid. Okay, so everything's paid, then the rest is your money. All right, this is what a weekly accomplishment sheet looks like. If you want to do this on InTouch, you can do this on InTouch and then send it in to me. I would honestly prefer the Gen X sheet over this, but some people like to do both. So if you're going to do one or the other, do Gen X. But if you want to do both, great, you can do both too. All right, basic money management sounds easy, but how do I keep track of all of this? You can use the business tracking register from the company or even a spiral notebook. If you're a techie type, you can also use software like Excel. That's what I use. QuickBooks, Ascend, or Peachtree. All right. Now, yay! You've completed your first class. Yay! So your homework. All right, so let's talk about this. Just remember, it will take time. It will take time to master everything you just learned from these classes. Be patient with yourself. And listen, you don't ever want to miss a meeting. Come to meeting every week. It's the best. Miss when you're sick. 2, you're dying. 3, you're dead. We don't want you to be dead. Those who show up go up, and it is so true. Homework for class number 1. Decide how many and when your Mary Kay hours will be, and highlight your date book for available time slots to hold your appointments. Put your Mary Kay dream book together. You know, one of the best things that I did when I started my business was I just went and I got a really cute, inexpensive, like little, what's that called, photo album, and I put pictures of my kids in there in their cheerleading uniforms because that's what I wanted to pay for. And I put in other things like my dreams of where I wanted to go and take our family and all those kinds of things. I put in a thing that said I want to be debt free, and I showed that to people at my meetings as to why I was doing my Mary Kay business. Set up your Mary Kay office. We really want you to do that right away, and fill out your very first Gen X weekly activity sheet, even if it's all zeros, and turn it in. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. Now you guys get to learn how to go on to Brave Unit New Consultant Training number 2. Good luck, you guys. I love you. And if you need me, just call me. I'm always here for you.